and I am honored to be asked to give this week's version of the Stewardship Speech, or the Time, Treasure, and Talent Address, or the Rooted in Abundance Lecture, or, as we like to call it in my house, the Money Talk. But first, a little perspective as to why I'm so excited to give the Money Talk. As you may know, my wife Pamela and I have been members of Christ Church since we moved here from New Jersey in 2010. Our twin daughters were confirmed here. My granddaughter Nona was baptized here. Our daughter Lily played the cello here, and that very same daughter was married most recently at the cathedral in a beautiful ceremony that would make any Anglican proud. And while Pamela and I are not cradle Episcopalians, we admit, we've been active members of the Episcopal Church for the entire 31 years of our marriage. But more specifically, Christ Church is our spiritual home. We've been blessed to have found lifelong friends such as Steve and Kathy Smith when we first arrived and were convinced to help lead the youth group. We've been blessed to have had an opportunity to share the spiritual journey with a fabulous group of young adults, culminating in a life-changing pilgrimage to Ireland. And we have shared the joy of fabulous food and fellowship, none better than a catered Jamaican feast created by the incredible Daphne and her sous chef, Annette. Pamela and I have both been honored to serve on the vestry, and currently Pamela leads the communication forum, and I have the distinct pleasure of working with a group of incredibly capable and dedicated individuals on the finance committee. Yes, that means you, Ed Hurley, and Channing Haskell, and Ken Borum, and Tracy Rice, Scott Gattuso. They've been fabulous, and it really has been an honor to work with them. And in my current role as Finance Committee Chair, it makes me uniquely qualified to give this money talk. You see, I have insight into the inner workings of the church's money matters, and unfortunately, for most churches to grow to their potential, money matters. And I recognize we all have different abilities to give and commit, but for the last few years, we have filled in a line item of our annual budget with something called G.W.P. Anyone know what G.W.P. stands for? God will provide. And that's right, God has provided. Well, as much as God has provided in the past with such things as our land sale, our PPE government grants, and our one-time estate gifts, we're entering a new era. The good news is that when the Christ Church community commits to pledges, they come through. The challenge is when those pledges fall short of our budget, our ability to make up these dollars with non-pledged income has become increasingly difficult. But don't take my word for it. Ed and Beth publish our financials weekly via TWAC, and you can see clearly, even in a good pledge year, we have our budget challenges. As we look forward to 2024, our goals are many. We want to grow our youth programs, fabulous children in our church. We want to invest in our rich music tradition. We want to expand our community outreach, and we want to support our new rector with a robust financial foundation. So as you go through church today, I ask you to take a look at this pledge card. It's in the back of the church, and I ask that you prayerfully consider increasing your historic pledge if you can, and consider pledging for 2024 if you haven't in the past. Christ Church Episcopal is a community that is truly rooted in abundance, but those roots don't grow without time, talent, and treasure, and the treasure of the people in this room and online. Please consider watering those roots with your pledge commitment, and I promise I won't make the same money talk next year. Thank you, and God bless.